I am sick of rice and eggs. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube. If you haven't, please make sure you subscribe. I am very proud of myself for being consistent with my YouTube so far. Let's see how it goes. Today I wanted to share some footage that I shot months ago in February, and we can do a bit of a fast forward to how it's going today. So I am going to be talking about SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth. It's a gut health thing. It's just a whole thing. I've shared plenty of this on my Instagram, but you know what? I haven't shared a lot. I haven't really gone too in depth because you never know how much people want to know, but I'm getting a lot of questions, so I'm really glad I filmed taking the test, figuring out that I had SIBO, and then doing the diet and protocol to help with getting rid of it, repairing, what's it called? Repopulate? I can't even remember. But I really do, like with everything I kind of share about that isn't my domain, I really just want to preface this by saying that I'm not a professional in this area. I'm working with a professional. Her name is Natalie K. Douglas. You can find her on Instagram or her podcast. She's been guiding me through this whole process, coming up with the right protocol, the right diet, basing it off my history. It's a very kind of complex thing. You can't just like take the test and read the results and be like, cool, I have this SIBO. There's 2 types you can get, and then do the protocol and be like, just expect yourself to get better. Everyone has it in, not everyone, but everyone that does have it has it in varying degrees, and your history makes it complex. And there's just, it's a complex thing. The gut is very can I say complex another time? So I'm just going to take you guys along on this journey. I'm going to first rewind back to February 6th, which is when I took the test. So there are, like I said, 2 different kinds. So there are 2 different tests. You don't have to do them both, but I did do them both. There's a specific diet you need to have and a specific way you need to do this test. So I've shared how that went. So yeah, let's jump back and just see that diet and see that test, and then I'll run you through a little bit more. The house is an absolute mess because Dad decided to recarpet. Let me show you what is going on here. Scaffolding, crapola, everywhere. Anyway, the carpets have been done, but none of the furniture is in the rooms. So yeah, love that for me. Anyway, today I've been doing the SIBO diet, the pre-SIBO test diet, which it's been interesting, let me tell you that much. I'm just going to show you my dinner. I've been doing it all day today, so I'm just going to reverse and then show you guys my full day of eating, and then I'll sit down and explain the whole thing and show you the test and why I'm doing it. Meals pretty much look exactly the same, mostly because they are. This is rice, fish, coconut oil, parmesan cheese, and an egg. I'm starving. Hey guys, so I've got everything ready here to start this test. It's really annoying because you have to fast 12 hours overnight until you can start the test. And because I got home so late from Melbourne to my dad's, I didn't have finished dinner until like 9:30, and the test takes 3 hours, so you can't eat until then. And I've got to do the diet again today because I have to do, so there's 2 tests. There's this lactulose one and the glucose one that's just sitting there. That's why I'm looking over there. So I've got to do the diet again. So I'm like, cool, finish this one and then straight back to the rice and chicken and egg. Okay, so I've watched the prep video like 3 times just to make sure I don't mess it up. I've got all my things ready. So the first one you do, so the reason it goes for 3 hours is because there are 10 test tubes that you have to breathe into, and you have to do it every 20 minutes once you have the solution. So I am just going to do the base one and then drink the solution, and then after 20 minutes I do the first like official one, and then you do every 20 minutes after that, all of them. And then I can eat. I'm already so hungry. I'm gonna do this for 3 hours. Okay, so you place it near the needle. I'm nervous. Don't pierce it yet. Did that work? I think I pushed it in hard enough. Fingers crossed, because this is an expensive test. Alright, so that's the base one. So now I just need to label it. Where's my pen? Alright. Sample number 1. Now I have to have this solution, which I've heard is horrible. So there we go. There's number 1. Now I take the solution and wait 20 minutes. Let's see how this goes. Okay, now I've got 5 minutes to drink this, and I've heard it is not good. It's like the little syrup containers. It reminded me of McDonald's sweet and sour sauce. Okay, doesn't smell like anything. Oh, it doesn't really taste like anything, like at all. It's like water with a slight different flavor, whatever. Okay, now I'm going to set the timer for 20 minutes and then do my next one. One of the girls that follows me on Instagram messaged and said she did this test and she didn't expect it, but after drinking that drink she had violent diarrhea. So I really hope that doesn't happen to me. I'll let you guys know. I think it's like a bit of an indication for how sick your stomach might be. So I know mine's pretty messed up, so we'll see. 20 minutes. Okay, I literally haven't moved. There have been no adverse reactions, which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but I'm up to the second one. Done. Now we set the timer again. This is fun. For 3 hours, I'm hungry. it's the last one and I've pre-prepared my food because I'm that hungry. It's the time. 1 o'clock. Fasting is lame. Let's go eat my pre-prepared food. Alright, so I ate and that was good. My stomach's been making these weird like gurgling noises for the whole afternoon. So that's weird. And then I had this like weird stitch feeling like under my ribs and in my like lower belly. So that was also like pretty uncomfortable. Anyway, I'm fine. That was a long process and I have to do it again tomorrow. But I am just about to go to the gym now that I'm feeling a bit better. And I mean, obviously because you have to fast for this, I had my first meal at 1 and it's now almost 3 and like I'm kind of hungry, but I don't even want to eat. Like I just feel a bit yuck about the food. Like I'm so overeating. Like it's literally been like 1 day. It's been 4 meals and I'm over it. I think this is actually really important because with like any diet that you're following, whether it's a diet for fat loss or just a diet, like that's what eating our food is called, variety is really important. And it doesn't even need to be like a different meal every day, just like some different ingredients, like different vegetable choices, different fat options. And like I eat pretty similarly like each day and I don't get sick of that, but I am sick of rice and eggs. So anyway, I don't think I'd ever get sick of chicken. I mean, don't say that, because if you made me eat chicken every day for every meal, I would. Anyway, I'm rambling. I need to go and train. I've got a lower body session. I'm going to be doing some squats and then coming back and eating my rice. My chicken. I can have turkey, but I actually feel like turkey's a bit like tough. So anyway, I'm just going to have the chicken again. Didn't love the fish in the rice last night. And like I don't even care if I'm under my calories today, just because I don't want to force another meal just for the sake of hitting those calories. Like, ugh. This is what people must feel like when they do like bulking phases and they have to eat heaps of food and they just like are not interested in food. I've always really struggled to relate to that because I'm always interested in food, but there you go. That's the lesson. Some of the lessons I've learned from this experiment. Hey guys, I'm up just doing, I haven't like done my face or anything like that, but I'm just doing the second test. I'm drinking the fluid stuff now. This is the glucose one, and this liquid, whatever, is like sugar syrup. Obviously it's glucose. It's so sweet. The other one didn't taste like anything, but this one's like, I just feel like I've put sugar in this. I mean, which I have, but you know, you never know what that's gonna be like. Oh, that last bit. Okay, when I was first having it, I was like, oh, this is nice, because I'm like so used to having the rice and chicken and egg. I'm so excited for breakfast today. All right, so I'm gonna set the timer for 20, go, and then I'm gonna do my first one after that, and in between that I'm just gonna do some work again, which is what I did last time. I actually got a lot done, but I'm also gonna like make my bed and like do my face and go meditate and do all these things. So let's do it. Okay, is it weird? When I was doing the diet, all I could have was rice, eggs, coconut oil, parmesan cheese and chicken, and at the time I was like, oh, this is actually like tastes pretty good. And then after 2 days I was over it. I was like, I just want like vegetables and like more food, diversity. But now I'm kind of thinking that was a really yum meal, and I kind of want to make the chicken, eggs, rice and cheese dish and eat that. Anyway, I just have a little handout on my computer that explains SIBO that was sent to me by Natalie. So I'm just going to run through quickly what it says, because like I said, this isn't my area of expertise. I just want to make sure I'm giving out the correct information without like diagnosing, because it's not up to me to diagnose. I'm just sharing my experience. If you're wanting to diagnose it, if you think you have symptoms, please see a professional, because I don't want you to be like, oh, So's doing this diet, I'm just going to do the same. You can sometimes end up doing more harm than good. So yeah, it's an overgrowth where the bacteria that is meant to be found in the lower large intestine ends up overgrowing, and it goes into the small intestine where it's not meant to be. So symptoms are going to vary, and honestly it's quite a broad range of symptoms, like basically like IBS symptoms. So a lot of people get constipated or diarrhea, abdominal discomfort, bloating, like straight after you eat a meal. It's quite common. And then some other things that I've personally been experiencing from it are like extreme fatigue, really watery and inflamed body, difficulties with losing weight. Yeah, so there's kind of a lot of things that I've been feeling from it, and it's kind of hard to pinpoint, is it all the SIBO? There are other things going on for me with my health, with my gut, with being on Roaccutane, mental health stuff that are really all playing into these symptoms as well. So I'm not just blaming the SIBO, but obviously there are a lot of side effects and symptoms that make living with it quite unpleasant. So this handout just says, yeah, the problems that the overgrowth of the bacteria can cause. So we're not like absorbing our nutrients properly, which is obviously not a good thing. Motility is affected. So yeah, it causes a lot of discomfort. So basically, there are a few ways you can, well, the way that I know to approach it, that I've been doing with Natalie, is through this biphasic diet. And the diet is more to help the symptoms, and then to kill the overgrowth of bacteria, you go on some antimicrobials. And again, there are a whole bunch out there specifically for SIBO, but Natalie gave me specific ones based on my body, how I was responding. She looked through the test and everything, so she paired that test with another gut test, a GI map test that I've done, and looked at my blood markers. So there's a whole thing that goes into it. And when she looked at the test, it was saying that it was positive for one of the types of SIBO, and then based on the way she analysed the test, which isn't as black and white as yes or no, she decided that she was going to treat the other type of SIBO. So, and she also changed the diet a bit, because there's like the super strict phase of the diet, and then there's some allowances, like you might be able to have some rice, and Natalie was happy for me to have some rice. So the phase 1 is reduce and repair, and it goes for 4 to 6 weeks. It might be longer depending on you. It might be shorter if you respond really quickly. It's kind of difficult because I'm someone who already has a really, I suppose, whole foods based diet. So I imagine someone who's eating like a lot of processed foods, a lot of takeout, changing their diet to something like this, you would see results like really quick. Whereas for me, it wasn't too much of a change to the diet I was currently eating. So yeah, it's just going to be a slower process for me. I've already been going since, I don't know, February is when we did the test, and then we got the results back a few weeks later, and then I pretty much started a few weeks later. So probably been going since March, mid-March, and it's now mid-April. So I've already done, I'm coming up to my second cycle of antimicrobials. So I've probably been going for like 2 months, I would say now. So yeah, I've been on the phase 1 diet, not the super restricted one. And yeah, I mean, it's slow to see progress, and that's what makes it really disheartening, because the obvious symptoms are things like bloating and stomach distension and feeling really watery and inflamed, and it would be really nice for those symptoms to go away, or at least reduce a bit. And sometimes I'll have waves of being like feeling a bit better and then not, and it feels like you progress and then regress. So it's really good to have Natalie to like vent to and be like, I don't feel like this is working, and then she'll point out other things that have improved, like less fatigued than I was previously, and just like little things. And I suppose, comfort me in the fact that it's just going to be a slower process. I've had gut issues for the last 10-11 years ever since hospital, and something like that, having stomach lesions or lesions from hospital or endometriosis and scar tissue from that, can also increase your chances of getting SIBO. So yeah, there's a whole protocol that she's got me on. Also the fact that I've on again off again dieted put that pressure on my nervous system. My nervous system's pretty fried, which kind of plays into this whole thing too. So it's not as simple as being like, hey, this one thing in your gut's affected, let's just do a diet and go on some antimicrobials and kill it. For some people it is that simple, but for me it is not. And then the second phase is remove and restore. So that's 4 to 6 weeks, and that's just like reintroducing more foods, seeing how your body responds to that. So phase 1 of the diet, it's like a whole thing. It breaks down all of the like proteins, dairy, vegetables you can have some of, and quantities of them. So pretty much my diet, you know, I've cut out like all onion and garlic. To be honest, I wasn't really eating them before because they were like high FODMAPs, which tend to trigger me. I can have rice, can't have potatoes, I can have most proteins. The vegetables I'm sort of circulating between, and I might do a full day of eating on it if you guys are interested in. Yeah, it's just, it's you know, it's not that bad, but it is like boring because you do sort of eat the same things repetitively. And I usually do that, but I can diversify with, I suppose it's more like the wheat carbs that are annoying that I can't bring them in. Things like wraps, taco shells, potatoes, like they're really a good way to diversify your food. So when you first get on the antimicrobials, a lot of people experience die-off symptoms. So it's kind of like it gets worse before it gets better. And die-off symptoms can be anything from like extreme, like diarrhea, purging, headaches, nausea, really tired, low energy, extra bloating. Like it can be quite a difficult experience, and it might last anywhere from like a little bit to a really long time. I've got a friend that's also doing the SIBO diet, like we're both kind of doing it alongside each other and being each other's cheerleaders, and she's had really horrible die-off and reactions to all the herbs and antimicrobials. She's also doing the phase 1 like super strict diet, so I'm really impressed by her ability to stick to that, because I know it would be a really big challenge. But I suppose when you've got horrible like gut issues and stuff, you just want to do anything you can to fix them. So yeah, I'm really lucky that it's not super strict. I spoke to Natalie yesterday and we are making some changes to what I've been doing. So I was having a bit of banana, and based on some of my symptoms and not like improving super quick, we're taking out banana and all nuts and nut butters. Not that I was eating heaps, but it's just a test for a week to see if that helps. And then the second part, a week after that, if that doesn't improve, I'm going into the like hardcore restrictive phase of it for a week to see if that helps alleviate symptoms. So that will be fun. Yeah, so I didn't really have die-off myself, which was really good. My energy has improved. That's sort of been the main stuff I've noticed. Not like huge improvements with bloating or like feelings in my stomach or anything like that, which is, like I said at the start, quite frustrating. But you know, it's just something that I need to accept as a longer process. It doesn't help as well that I've been getting quite sick on and off with like having Rio, my sister's baby, like in and out of daycare, like just getting sick, and like that does affect it. And yeah, being in this position, it's hard to say what exactly led me here, but like I said, the hospital, the lesions from hospital, being on antibiotics for so long in hospital. If you guys are wondering like how to get tested and check, I really would recommend finding like, I don't know, an endocrinologist, finding like a gastroenterologist, talking to your doctor, finding a naturopath or a dietitian. Obviously I recommend Natalie. She's been amazing. I know she probably isn't taking one-on-one clients because she has like a huge waiting list, but she has a lot of online resources that help, and her podcast was really helpful for me. Like I did listen to that a bunch before I like asked if she could coach me through this, and yeah, I really trust her, and I know she's helped a lot of previous clients with it. So other things I'm doing, I'm taking a bunch of supplements to help every aspect of my health. We looked at like my bloods and saw what I was deficient in, so I'm taking like magnesium, B complex, iron, probiotics, and like specific probiotics for me and my body. And then there's a few other supplements, some mushroom extract supplements, the antimicrobials, which you can rotate or keep the same, and I'm about to have a break from them to see how that goes. What else am I taking? Some fish oil, and then a whole bunch of stuff to help with my immune system, because it is pretty compromised at the moment with getting sick on and off. And then the other things are lifestyle factors have been a huge one to really help my nervous system. So I train at quite high intensities. I haven't been able to because of my injury, but now that I'm sort of getting better from that, I'm able to increase the intensity. So I just have to be really mindful of my recovery and not push myself too hard. And that's why I've introduced a lot of de-stressing things, like going to yoga, more boundaries with my phone and how I work, making sure I'm seeing people more, reading more, and just, yeah, spending less time, like less screen time and stuff, which has been interesting to say the least. Grounding, tree hugging, the last YouTube you guys would have seen. Yeah, so that's kind of what's going with the SIBO protocol. If you guys are interested, I'll make sure I'll keep you updated throughout. As I said, I've been on it for like 8 weeks or so now. And I've seen naturopath after naturopath, doctors, stuff to help, and no one's ever been able to help me feel just like a normal person. And I think with gut health stuff, it's really hard because a lot of us just put up with it because we think it's normal, and it's not normal to feel like bloated. Like I wake up with this big like bloated belly, and it's not uncomfortable in terms of like pain, but it is uncomfortable because I'm like, why is my belly just like sticking out? That's like weird. And even when I was super lean, that happened as well. And that sort of led Natalie to think that it could be hormone related. So we're looking into all my hormones and stuff. It's just like, when did all this stuff get so complicated? Like, I don't know, I go through phases of being really disheartened that I live such a healthy life. Like, I don't really drink, I don't go out late and party, like I get heaps of sleep, I manage my stress as best I can, I eat really wholesome foods and get all my nutrients in, I drink heaps of water, I move my body, like I do all the things that we're told make you healthy. But it feels like my body's just kind of failing me, and I'm like, what did I do to you to make you act this way? Like, obviously being in hospital and being on the antibiotics and like dieting and being super restrictive and getting really lean and then rebounding and stuff obviously isn't good either. So yeah, I suppose it's an accumulation of things that I've done years ago versus what I'm doing now. So anyway, I wish I could go back in time and tell myself to live a little bit healthier, but I'm doing it now. So anyway, yeah, I hope that was helpful for anyone out there. If you do want to get tested for SIBO, like I said, see a professional, please, because it could be something else. And you want to rule out anything like really serious by seeing a doctor and stuff. So yeah, please make sure you subscribe, like, comment, any questions, anything you want to know. Yeah, good to be back. Good to be back. All right, guys, I will chat to you soon.